Welcome back to the 2 Months Podcast presented by BioSteel. I'm your host, Joshua Marshall. Tonight, we have a very special guest joining us, but we'll introduce the panelists and then we'll get to our very special guest. We got Clay Vanderham on with us. Vandy, how's it going?
Vandy is Dan panelists, eh?
Yes. Well,
Holy.
threw out a
Moving
big
up.
word. So, moving up for sure. Yeah.
Hey, Leafs look good, Bosco.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate admitting that.
It's a tough way. I got a nice clip that you guys will like too from Steve Eiserman later on. That's maybe why I want to play it. I'll tease it later. No, but and we got Trevor Ruptash. Rupper, how's it going?
Well, boys, it's going not bad. Shoveled about 14 times today.
They
I
don't
pulled
people don't come and do that for you out there?
no, not in St. Albert, buddy. Well, you know what? My taxes are pretty high out here, and like the paths are already done, the roads were done first thing in the morning, which is unbelievable. But I pulled my left lower fucking ab shoveling today. It was a fucking tragedy. But winter's here,
Nice, nice. All right, and we have a very special guest. He's joining us. I think this is your sixth time with us. He's played
record.
Yes,
Record
for sure. So he's got Fids beat, but he's played over 1,100 games in the NHL, and he's played 71 in the playoffs. We'd like to welcome back to the 2 Months Podcast, Jason Chimera. Jay, how's it going?
Good, boys. Always nice to be back on the podcast. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, it's we've been playing a little bit of trying to get you on a little hip here, but you've been a busy man. So I guess kind of worth it. How are things? How are things? What's new and exciting in your guys' world of the Chimera household?
Well, like Rupper said, you're shoveling the walks today. That's about all it is. But just chasing kids around, doing the old minor hockey thing. So it's good. It's wife's work at the hospital, so she's busy. So
yeah,
it's I'm doing the chili, the soup, and all that stuff. So it's nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Warm your bones up.
Yeah. Warm. just throwing a bunch of shit in there. I don't know what I'm doing, but
and the kids can eat it. The kids can eat it for a week, dude. It's
oh yeah. Just triple the recipe.
Yeah.
Work harder, not smarter, man. Or,
yes,
smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I used to call that hobo chili. You put a shoelace in there, some coffee grinds, whatever you find laying around. Fuck, that just lasts forever.
A bar mat back in the bullet days?
Well, that too.
Rupper, it does look like Vandy is touched by Jesus there. He's got the
bright light shining.
Okay. He's like, let me down the host. Now you gotta readjust.
Guys podcasting
right,
on
you
the
guys
sun,
go.
for Christ's sake.
Well, you get introduced the panelists. You better freaking have a good background. You gotta, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, anyone that's going to watch us on our YouTube channel will see the nice little clip that Rupper's got behind, and then Chemmer's got his 2 Months Podcast hoodie on. So
oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, so it's all good. And so everything's going pretty well. But I guess how's the minor hockey thing? We want to kind of touch on that. We had Sean Bell on not too long ago with Sonny Sakan and talked about a lot about minor hockey. But I guess, are you coaching, and how's that going for you guys right now?
It's good. Yeah, I'm coaching. My daughter is in the HSL, so we're playing in the 2010 division. But it's good. I mean, the landscape of minor hockey sure changed since I was younger. So it's kind of kids are all over the place, which is probably not the best for everybody, but it is what it is. And I think and my son's playing U16 prep at OHA, so that's going good. And just kind of busy helping both teams and helping some OHA stuff during the day. So that's been good too.
Yeah. So from when you played to where it is now in minor hockey, a lot has changed, but what would you say can kind of get back to, maybe if there is anything that can get back to the grassroots, the betterment of the kids? Because it does seem like I get a lot of people talking, sometimes there's too much options, but where do you think the game can kind of get better at the minor hockey level, if it can, Jay?
Well, I think it has to get back to a true AAA, like in minor hockey, and just kind of tear down from there. And I think you need to have quadrants in your city, and everyone get together and have a true AAA league and have a double A league, single A league, and just for whatever reason people have lost sight of kind of everyone needs to play AAA hockey. Well, hockey's not just for hockey. Hockey's for life stuff. Hockey's for everything. So I think it's you got to get back to kind of best playing on best. I think it's kind of too spread out right now, so it's kind of a lot of watered down. But it's not a bad. I think people think it's a bad thing if your kid's playing in Double A hockey or Single A hockey or Tier One, or it's not a bad thing at all. So I think it's I don't know. It's never going to happen, but I think it would be best if everyone could get together and kind of have a true AAA league, and we can go from there.
How do you think that could happen? Where you get all these quadrants to kind of together. Do you think there can kind of be maybe like a summit, or is there a way of kind of having some conferences in like a conference call, or kind of any kind of get together? In which way would kind of how would you like to see it maybe it transpire or happen, or see where things can get better?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we're too far gone or too far lost in that whole situation, but I think it's I think people forgot what it's really about. I think it's really about the kids, and I think people forgot that whole main. That's the main thing. We're all, and whether you're HSL, minor hockey, or CSHL, or everyone's just trying to do their best. Parents are trying to do the best, make the best decision for the kids, and each people think it's a competition for you get the best kids and all that stuff, which it is, I think, but it's really not
Yeah.
for the kids anymore. If
Yeah.
that makes sense, I think it's just
Yeah.
like if people forgot that insight. People overlook that. I think it's so, and even seeing from coach to coach in different organizations, and people are not willing to share their information and kind of
Well,
everyone get together.
I
Like
think
like
that's
just
yeah. I think that's where you
like
nailed it. Is this could all we could get best on best, but the problem is there's so many leagues, nobody wants to talk to
yeah,
each other, and they're all
that's it.
one's pissed off at or whatever. It's not even pissed off, but it's egos. That's at the end of the day, that's what it
It's
is.
it's it's like living PGA Tour right now. They're not getting together.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
no, that's right.
It's the same
I
sort of thing. It's like what and
Like lit.
people are.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just trying to do their best. Like parents are just trying to make decisions best on their kids, and I think I don't know. Something's got to happen. I think it's got to change for the betterment of. But yeah, I don't know if it'll ever happen if people are going to get together and do that. So I don't know.
Yeah, because it seems like would you say I know we're here in Canada, but would you say from your time in the US of playing in the US and all that, are they ahead of us at all, or are they getting to be ahead of us in the US here in Canada to where their level is at for minor hockey and how they're developing their kids?
Well, they're all over the place too. So we played minor hockey in Long Island, which was crazy. We played against a team, Long Island Gulls, and they had a team of 10 kids, and people would fly in from Florida, Boston,
Yeah.
and stuff to play on weekends. So that's not great either. I when I grew up in Millwoods, I didn't know any different. I grew up with some good players, and we grew up together playing top tier hockey all the way up, and we knew each other, and I think that's where you get development. We're all friends off the ice. We're all good buddies, and we always end up just be on the same team, and it kind of went from there. I played Pee Wee 3 my first year. I think I was looking at the stats, and it didn't hurt me any at all. So I just kind of I don't know. I think it was I would like to see it to get back to like where you're from. You play with your buddies, and everyone could carpool, and like you're not from someone's not from Fort Saskatchewan, someone's not from Vegreville. You're all from like Millwoods area, and you're all from there, and everyone plays together, and it's a true AAA league, a true AA league, and so everyone can have. I mean, if there's a perfect world, I'd rather it get back to that.
Yeah. Rupper, what's your thoughts on this, and how do you think we can get better? I know we've talked about a little bit before, but
Okay, listen, Bosco, can I just say something before we go?
yeah.
I don't know if we need to. I think getting better is a negative. I don't think anything needs to get better. I think communication does, but yeah, I don't think anything's really broken.
Mhm.
Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a minor hockey
And
coach and whatnot.
oh yeah, maybe it isn't. I like, the thing is, you hear like stories where there's kids that are really, really good at a tier 2 to tier 3 level that are probably should be playing at, either a double A or a triple A level. And you're just like it. Sometimes there's obviously some political stuff to it too. There's also financial stuff to that too. That there's kids that can't afford to probably play that high up.
I
But
know most club teams have like a bursary program or something of
okay,
some sort.
yeah.
So, but anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
no, no. But
Go
what
ahead,
are your
Jeff.
thoughts?
No, I agree with Jay, and I agree with a lot of the stuff Sean was saying last podcast. Um, I think there's just like at the minor hockey level in Edmonton and the surrounding area, I think there's just too many organizations. I mean, you have you look down at Calgary, and I'm not saying that it's a better situation, but I like what Jay said about the four quadrants. People are gripping and griping and bitching and moaning about boundaries changing all the time. And at the end of the day, I don't know why they just can't do what's best for maybe the city and just divide it into four straight. But yeah, like the reason, listen, I didn't leave Millwoods hockey with my boys because I hate Millwoods, right? Like it's the old saying,
Yeah.
you can take the boy out of Mill Woods, but you can't take Mill Woods out of the boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a situation presented to us, and it reminded me of when like I was growing up, or Jay was growing up, or Clay was growing up, where we have a chance to be together for like 4 years, kind of the same group with very little turnover, great coaching, great families, great kids that just want to learn and want to work hard every single day. And I'm lucky enough that the HSL provided that. And Jay will attest. It is what you make out of it. The HSL is what you make out of it and what you put into it. Just because you get, and I've said this, I can't even tell you how many times. Just because you get cut from a team at the Edmonton level or the Edmonton Minor Hockey League level doesn't mean the HSL is the next best thing, because it's not. You get in what you put out, or you know it. And I know Jay will attest to that. Like it's not like Jay's gonna say, "Oh, HSL's better here." Like there's probably some club teams that are better too, and it's not about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I said that last time with Sean on the podcast. I said, if all these organizations were truly about the kids, then they'd find a way, no matter what. They
Yeah.
would. Whether it's coming down to money or enrollment fee, whatever it is, I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes, but like Sean said, you got a lot of old people from the old days still involved in that aren't willing to change and not willing to say, okay, well, there's another option for a kid here at HSL or CSCCA. I can't even pronounce it. It's so goddamn long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Or the new
The Kissel.
JPHL or whatever. Like,
Call it
it
the
is
Yeah.
what
Kissel.
it is, man. Like, let's be here for the kids. The development in one league and one team might be better, or it might be better on there. Who cares? Like, why is everybody's panties in a bunch about it?
Yeah.
Well,
What?
it comes down to like if organizations get together and have like good coaching from top down, and then you have coaches symposiums and have like all these people have practice plans and have it all look the same and everyone's getting the same development, not one team, like say a tier 5 team, just because they have no coaching experience. Maybe the double A team on that could help the guy out sometimes and make practice plans for him and help him out. And then you get some development for these kids that
Yeah.
maybe get some coaching that is not too great, because they go to a lot of coaching practices, and half time the kids are at the board, and that doesn't make sense either, right? So if it starts with coaching, if you keep good coaches around, people stay.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
like Rupper went for, because he coached by Pisani, so but then they were able to stay together for 4 years, which is unheard of. And these kids, they're all like-minded kids, so they all come out better players for it, because now the practices all flow good, and now it's probably a lot of repetition. And when repetition becomes, you become good at something, then kids become confident at that stuff. And it's not rocket science. You have good coaching, you have good practice plans, and people that don't have a practice plan, ask the people above you. Maybe they could share their practice plans with you, and then you go from there. Then like everyone shares their stuff, and that's an organization should act. But it's always like Pee-wee 1's got a different coach, Pee-wee 2's got a different philosophy, Pee-wee 3 got a different philosophy, and oh, my practices are
Yeah.
terrible. And then some kids lose a year of development. They're playing Pee-wee 1 hockey, and the coach is terrible. So it's like, well, how is that fair to those kids? So it starts with coaching. You got to have a head coach for each kind of like quadrant, and then filter it down. Have like coaches meetings every month. Like, what are you guys going over? What do you need? What you need a
Yeah.
power? You need a power play breakout here. I got one. You need to practice. You got a D zone drill here. Here's some D zone drills, neutral zone drills, whatever you need to work on. Then you got a booklet of drills you could all draw from, and everyone can help each other. That's the perfect system if you could get that. But going back to your Rupper said, it's not about that anymore. It's not about the kids.
Yeah.
People forgot that, and people like if someone asks me what my drill is, I'll give you every drill I have. I don't care. It's not a secret. It's not like I want your kid to develop just as much as mine. I'm not in it for that. I'm in it to help kids out and help everybody out, not just my kids.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's great that you guys say it because I had a long chat with Doug Ockenberg about this the other day, and we're just, kind of what he's doing with his development camp and whatnot. And obviously, he's part of helping out Millwoods hockey, and his passion is Millwoods hockey. But
well, Doug and I are, I mean, we're kind of working hand in hand. I run the U11 development, and Doug does the U13, and then we're finding a guy, and that's the thing. We're building. What Millwoods is doing is we're building cores, more or less cores. I mean, the kids kind of funnel themselves out, but we have a 2013 core group of kids, kind of thing. We did it with our 2012 group, so and they all they skate together, they develop together and whatnot. So yeah, Doug, what he's doing at Millwoods and it's good. It's showing because Doug's team and Chris's team, I think they're first in their U15 AA.
Yeah,
I mean, it's about building a culture nowadays more than ever. You want to keep families to get in a sense, build what Trev was talking about, when he went to the Caps. It's building that core, building that culture, but not only for your team, bringing it down from tier 1 down to tier 6. Have your kids skate with each other and that kind of thing. And that's one thing that Doug has been, and he said it 3 years ago. He said, I want it back. We want to go against the St. Alberts, the top teams, the Sherwood Parks, the Confeds, SWATs, that kind of thing. And we want to run with the big kids, but that's how you got to get it back. So
and then like I appreciate and listen, like when Shimmer says it's about coaching, it is like if some coaches can put their ego aside for a second and just say, okay, I need some help.
100%.
And I don't know what maybe the best practice plan might be. So give me some advice, give me some help. A good coach is always willing to learn and move with the times, right? Like I brought this up with Torts before. I can't even believe Torts is still in the league, but you know what? He changed. Maybe he's still a little hard, but he had to. If Torts wasn't willing to change and say, okay, this is how I want to do this, he'd be out of the league. That's the bottom line, right? So if a minor hockey league coach is not willing to do that, and he's like, well, why should I listen to a tier 1 coach when I'm tier 2 and I played here? That's the wrong attitude. That's the wrong attitude altogether.
Yeah. Well, that's and that most good coaches, I think maybe 1 or 2 drills are theirs, and everyone else is borrowed or shared or stolen.
100%.
Right?
I just stole 3 last night.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Let's try that. And that's what I mean. Like, and for your culture thing too, like Vandy, but that like the city all of a sudden now they stole midget AAA programs from the teams like CAC, Maple Leafs, KC. So those are supposed to be your pinnacle of your of the clubs, but now they're junior oilers programs. So now it's two teams, and now those kids that are playing Pee Wee AA hockey for the Maple Leafs or playing Phantom AA. They have
Correct.
nothing. They have nothing to look up for now. So now people are like, well, who cares? Like, I mean, you go to HSL, go wherever you want. Now there's no real. I remember when I played Southside Mid AAA, I was, I was the man. Like I was wearing the bomber jacket. I
Yeah.
thought I was the man, right? So that
No,
was the,
you're bang on. You're bang on,
like,
Shimmer. And I
so
see it. I see it now. Like even the kids, and that's forcing the clubs to go younger, because the pinnacle is eventually is U15 AAA or U17 AAA now for them, right?
yeah,
There isn't there, and that's obviously still good hockey, but yeah, you can see it coming. Like it's just
yeah,
clubs that gonna take over young because they lost the midget AAA program.
yeah,
How much money did that bring in? That's a conversation we could talk about later.
yeah.
But I mean, most of your funding from went to U18 AAA or your midget AAA teams, and that's where everybody wanted to strive to get to.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, that's a very good conversation for sure. I definitely think it's interesting of how it all kind of works out. What are some of the positive things that you're seeing, Jay, with your programs that you're a part of and supporting and the programs that your kids are a part of right now? And I think you probably touched on some of them, but
Well, I'm not saying I'm the world's best coach, but like I get to coach these kids and kind of teach them different stuff. But like good practices, like um, Vanessa, not with Quantum anymore, but she comes does her power skating, and then we got some goalie people coming out. So Cody from comes out and helps the goalies, and I don't know. You could just tailor your program to what you need and get get ice as you need. And I don't know. I think it's just good that way. Kale's program good. I mean, they got Trevor Baker's a coach there for his U16, and that's good too. I mean, they're on the ice 5 times a week, and they work out 5 times a week, and then they're done by 4 o'clock every day, which is pretty good too. So I think that's I have no complaints on what my kids are doing, but I think they're just a better system overall that we can all get to
yeah.
for everybody, not just my kids, and like for everybody in general.
No, we are getting a little bit more traction on minor hockey talk here on the pods. That's why I wanted to kind of bring it up. And with obviously Vandy and Rupper, with them being involved and their kids being involved and whatnot, it's nice to kind of bring a light to it. And then with your experience too, it's nice to kind of have those conversations. And you're right here in the
Well, hey Bosco, sorry to interrupt, but
no, it's all
you
good.
said it right there. Like when we were growing up, we didn't have, like, gosh, man, we had our dads coaching that knew nothing about hockey, like zero.
Listen, my old man,
smoke in the mouth.
He was on a bench when a kid
Let's
snapped
do
his
board
twig.
rushes, boys.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We didn't have
Now
no
you got
safety plan.
nothing. Now you got guys like, I don't think kids really understand how lucky they are to have like a coach like Jay or Clay or Fern or Barnyard or Blair Zahara. I could go. The list can go on. Like these guys played pretty high level hockey. Like,
Yep.
and some practices you come out and holy shit, I got this guy from the Oilers skating with me, and like I'll never forget this Caps team when we first got together. The outside guys in St. Albert had zero clue who Fernando Pisani was. I had to go on YouTube and dust off these fucking videos to show my kids, like, hey man, this guy launched like 14, 15 goals in the playoffs. And they're like, oh yeah, he's pretty good.
Oh,
well, of course, right? Like it's incredible, man. Jesus. They're lucky shits, man.
Yeah, lucky YouTube was around for sure. No, it's cool.
But you know what? Sorry, I can go on forever. But I think one problem associations do make, and whether it's the fault of their own or people don't step up. I don't know why you would, but they don't hire hockey, or not hire, but hockey people. They don't listen and trust.
Yes.
I think a lot of associations will listen to a guy that is boisterous and maybe doesn't know what he's talking about more than anything. They don't lean on their, if I'm the president of a hockey association in Edmonton, I'm looking at every one of my registrants and I'm finding somebody that I know, whatever, try, because obviously you're in the community, you know that there's somebody there that can, hey, would you mind? Here's my plan. Let's, but I don't think enough, they don't lean on these hockey people enough. And we're like, we're modest, like we're modest people. Hockey players by nature
Yeah.
is not saying we want to be approached, but we're not going to jump up and go, hey, yeah, pick me kind of thing. So
Well, the biggest problem is like at CAC, there's no, and then I think a lot of programs are saying there's no parent coaches after certain
yeah,
time, like 15 or double A. And to what you said, if someone has to tell you how good a coach you are, or how much you know in hockey, they probably don't. So
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, and those
Yeah.
people tend to get those jobs, and I think it's like people.
And that's the problem, though.
Yeah, so people are
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I know this, I know this." I know, well,
Yeah.
like I can YouTube a presentation to death, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No doubt.
if you have to tell someone, you know, I used to play high level hockey and I know what I'm talking about, so that's probably the first clue he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the problem is it's all volunteer positions. So these people end up becoming, and then you get a following, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh my God. But yeah, I mean,
it's just like putting a bunch of shit on the ice right now, and people think it's development. I mean, that's not.
Yeah.
So that's,
I was just thinking about it. I'm like, Jesus, when was the last time you used the pylon?
I know. That's and some people throw a bunch of shit on the ice and look at this is awesome. Look, like
get back to basics.
Like case in point is on my youngest son Zach's team, Saints Pro. We have a new player, and he's from their wife's from St. Albert, dad's from Quebec. He played pro hockey. I'm not 1,000% sure Oilers drafted him or he was traded to the Oilers, but I think his name's Sebastian Bissalon. And I'm sorry, Seb, for butchering your last name, but he played in the Q and he was drafted to the NHL. He had a cup of tea there, went on playing pro hockey in France and, you know, that whole area. And he comes, you know, new guy to the team. And he's like, hey, if you guys need a hand, I'm willing to give it to you. And comes out to practice. He's just walking. He's just unbelievable practice stuff. He's teaching the kids power skating. And he's not doing it to get recognized. Like, he's just doing it to help the kids. Like, he's teaching them little jab steps last night and deception. And I'll pump my own kids' tires for a sec because they're in a drill and he actually did the thing that we just practiced. And he's like, look at that. Oh my God, my thing worked. And Zach comes over and he's just got a grin ear to ear. Yeah. Right. I don't even know if he realized what he did, but Seb's so smart, he just picked it up. He's like, my God, that was awesome. So that's the difference, right? And I think I don't know what it is with the associations, if they're scared of people like that they're going to come in and muck up the organization when they're really there to help and change stuff and literally they want to make things better. And I just think for the most part, they get run out of the organization. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's well said. Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
No, like, so anything you guys want to add on to this topic before we move to our next segment, or you guys pretty good? All right.
My wife's giving me the stink eye because last podcast was 2.5 hours. She says never another 2.5 hour podcast.
No.
Yes.
No, that one did go pretty long, but this one won't be.
You guys snuggling tonight, or that's why you have to get going?
I don't gotta go nowhere, but I did drink a bottle of wine last podcast, and I was blacked out by about the 2 hour mark.
Were you Commodore? Did you see Commodore? Yeah. He almost had to do an apology.
He did.
And he goes, the only thing that was blacked was, or whatever it was, trash was my blood alcohol limit. He did a podcast hammered.
Yeah, he's a beauty. We just had him on too. He's
Do you see that guy? That guy has to when he was Columbus. He had to have one of those bed shaker alarms because he was fucking late so much. Like he was fucking like
Love
the
it.
whole the whole bed would shake, so he had to get up.
We should have
oh,
had you on with that.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
That would have been just lights out.
Oh, he's that kid's beauty.
He's awesome, man. He's funny. He always brings it for sure. So um we'll transition to over to a teammate of yours, the great Alex Ovechkin, Jay, and obviously passed Wayne Gretzky last night for 403 goals on the road for the most amount of goals scored by a player. But are you still in awe of what he can do today? And obviously, what's your thoughts on that accomplishment and what he's up to still in today's game?
Yeah, we still don't know his birth certificate. We don't. There's a Russian birth certificates are always flawed, so I don't know what's going on with him or what kind of drugs he takes. But all kidding aside, I mean, anytime you mention yourself with passing Wayne Gretzky, that's pretty pretty damn cool. I
Yeah,
mean, he and he. The thing is, people think he scores in one area. He scores in everywhere now. He's scoring for tips. He's scoring in front of that. He's scoring from off the rush. And I I I'd be lying to you if I said I think you still be doing it this stage, but I thought he would slow down for sure, but he keeps on finding ways to score goals, and so that's and as I know, it's not that easy to score goals in National Hockey League. So I think that these guys, those unicorns, those 70 or 80 unicorns, they make it look pretty easy. I don't know how they do it, but
yeah.
it wasn't that easy. Trust me.
No, it's definitely not for sure. Do you think he gets the all-time record though? Do you think he he's got quite a few years left on his contract, so he just resigned, but do you think things get better and as he keeps this momentum going and get that big record from Wayne?
I don't how many short is he now? Like
Uh
do you know, boss?
I'm on it. You
It's
guys
like
Yeah,
a
continue
hundred and
talking.
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
100 something, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
it's not close to 200. It's like closer to I think the 100 side. To
Well,
be
he's
quite
at
honest with you,
793, and Gretz is what, 890?
that's like
also
it's
100.
Gretzky
Yeah.
800 and what's Gretzky 800 and
Oh, hang on, I'll get that as well.
yeah,
So
'cause I
and
thought
I know
he's
Anyway, you
who
guys go.
yeah.
and Obi's
who would have
36.
yeah like who would have thought that guy banged 50 in last year,
I know.
right?
Yeah, Gretzky, he's 100 away, man. 101
Yeah.
away.
So I mean,
He's gonna play
yeah.
until he gets it, man.
And he's what?
That's the thing
He's
with him. He
37.
like yeah. So he'll so yeah. So like yeah. I mean, he could yeah.
Very well possibility, right? And you've been in with that organization a long time. I don't think Washington is ever going to go into somewhat real rebuild mode with him chasing that record and still having some of the great players that they have on their team. I think they're always going to be, pushing for it. I know Backstrom's out right now and hopefully he gets back from what he's fighting right now, but
Yeah.
and obviously Tom Wilson's out, but he should be back here pretty soon. But I think that team's always going to be in the mix as long as that record is still not taken down yet. So, what's your thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
I don't think they're ever being rebuilt for sure till they lose like Backy and Ovi and those guys. I think that's
Yeah,
once those guys are on board. I think they're always trying to at least. It doesn't look like like right now they're in a playoff picture right now, but like they're not gonna. They're probably gonna keep building. They're not gonna for sure, like you said, boss, total rebuild with those guys in the picture.
yeah, and they got like a lot of people look at it too. They got 5 pending UFA defensemen next year, right? Like they're like I think Carlson's the only guy that's signed long term. The couple guys that are on RFA deals, so they're probably still going to add because they're going to have cap space to add too, and all that. And I think I don't like they're coming out here. They're already out west. Are you going to get to that game when they get here to Edmonton and kind of catch up with the guys and see how things are and maybe see what's going on there, or you got a pretty busy schedule?
I try to get down for morning skate to see those guys to see what they're doing, and I just say hi for sure if those guys if they. I don't know. I sometimes they don't play sometimes they play the night before, so I didn't check that yet. So I think they're here next week though, right? If I
Yeah,
don't,
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
play Calgary on Saturday, and then I think they're here like Monday, Tuesday. So
Okay. Yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
chances are I'll see some of those guys if they're for sure in town.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be good. It's pretty cool. And what I guess we didn't really when we had you on a couple times before, we did kind of get into like the teammate Alex is, but is there anything else that stands out about him that maybe we probably never talk about enough about his game, about the kind of person he is, and kind of things that he does as the great leader that he is for that team too.
I mean, you always talk with the kids like if you don't love something like as much as like he loves to play the game, he loves to score goals, he loves to be at practice, loves to be around the rink, and just the sheer passion for the game the guy has and all that stuff. And you tell those kids like if you don't have that, then start with that. Don't like if you don't come to the rink with passion, you don't come to the rink with love for the game. That's the first step for sure. If you don't love playing hockey, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So I think he loves scoring goals. He loves when teammates score goals. He's just a goofy guy, and I think he is a good teammate, good person. So I mean, it couldn't happen to a better person. So
Yeah.
that's what the first thing is.
First and foremost for there for sure. Yeah, I get and so we'll transition to the Edmonton Oilers now. What's your thoughts to date on the season that they've had? They played a night here in Chicago. It's 0-0 after one. But what do you make of the Oilers season to date, Jay?
I'm probably inconsistent. I think they've been really good, really, and kind of really bad. They're not really kind of they got to still take priority in defending instead of trying to win the games like run and gun style. They got to try to somehow shore up their deep defensive zone and kind of move on from there. Help their goalies out a little more. I think it's easy kind of. I think goalies always letting some bad goals here and there, but you got to help them out too for sure. If you play from your the defensive side out, you're going to do pretty good. So I think that's where they got to start. They got to shore up that and from that's I mean, take pride in defense and then goals will come.
Yeah, yeah. Are you surprised kind of maybe the lack of kind of contributions from some of the guys in the bottom of the lineup and kind of what would you need to see more of from some of those guys? Obviously they got a bit of an injury bug right now and hopefully they come through there, but obviously, and I asked that because you're probably one of the better players in your position, and support in those support roles and helping out and whenever you need to be elevated lineup, you're great at doing that too. But thoughts on kind of what you would need a little bit more from from the depth guys from down low, but also
I
some of
I
the yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
ice time for these kids. Maybe give them some ice time. Give them
Yeah.
more than 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes a night. Then
I
you
was
could see
wanted
it.
to see what you thought about that
Like
guy, like Holloway
like
with 8 minutes a night,
you
right?
got. I think you got yours in Holloway. You got to put him on a top six forward to get him have him successful. Like I think he's not a guy who's going to run a gun, hit people, and play physical. And Tyler Benson, God bless, he was trying to do that last year, but it just didn't come natural for him. It seemed like when he was trying to kick guys and really be, but he was trying to change his game, which I appreciate. And but you need ice time. Like anytime, like if you don't get consistent amount, like over 10 minutes, over 12 minutes, you're not going to produce. And that's just the name of the game. You get one or two shifts a period. You're sitting there cold coming in. If you don't get thrown on the power play once in a while, I mean, they got Connor McDavid was playing on the penalty kill for Pete's sakes. The other day he's starting on the penalty kill. You don't need that guy blocking shots and breaking his leg for Pete's sake. Let the other guys do that. Let Shore do that. Let Malone
Derek
do that. Those
Ryan,
guys that are
Derek
Derek
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Let those guys go double shift on the PK and do and give them a role. Give them something to look forward to, and then you'll say like you got to make everyone feel part of it on a team, no matter what. No matter what you are, you're 14th forward, you're the seventh defenseman. You got to make everyone feel part of it. They need ice time. They need playing minutes. Drop the big guys down. I know they don't like that, but if you drop those guys down below 20 minutes a night, I think you'll see those guys, the bottom six, pull up there like 10, 12 minutes, and then you'll see some production. I
Yeah.
think that's the only way I see it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know anyone that can produce with with 8 to 7 minutes a night.
You could get the odd goal here and there, but you're not going to produce at a regular pace. You're not going to help the teammates more than. And then in a New York game there, they those guys are playing every third shift, that line, and they produce. So
Yeah.
it's you just need to get out there consistently to have an impact.
Yeah, for sure. All right, here I got a clip that I wanted to play you guys from Steve Eiserman. This is from tonight. He did an interview with Rick Tocchet on the TNT broadcast. Here, I'll try to cue it up here from the start. So give me a second here.
Hey, Steve, let's talk here. Just playing against you and your teams back in the day. When it was 2-0, it was lockdown. So you guys never gave up a lead. You guys were incredible at it. This year, that's the panel. It's driving me crazy. Why is it 2-0 leads? Teams are blowing these leads. A lot of streaky teams now. Lose 8, win 8. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have a real scientific answer, but I think our game, the league in general, is in a real transition. You've got a lot of teams playing. A lot of puck possession, a lot of motion. If you watch Toronto, we just played them the other night. They might be one of the best teams at it, but in the offensive zone, they're very active. You're very active in the offense, and the bigger end zones, teams are having trouble defending, figuring out a way of defending. It used to be, when we played, it was pretty simple: 3-on-3 down low, and wingers cover the points. Now with these D's so active and so much more room, you're having a lot of switches. Teams defend with overloads in the corners, which creates confusion when the offensive team breaks the puck out of the corner. So the game is in transition, and I think the offensive side of coaching has overtaken the defensive side, and now coaches are going to have to adjust to come up with better defensive techniques or systems to defend a little bit. And really now with 32 teams, there's times when the league, there's tons of goaltending, there's a depth of it, and right now we're goaltending throughout the league. I think we're all looking for strength in goaltending, whether it's through the draft, through free agency. Everybody is trying to improve, so it's a tough time to defend, and it's a tough time to be in goals with the way the game is played.
Hey, Steve, it's tough.
So what I wonder.
Well, first of all, my mind is blown. Like the man knows the game. Like
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Jay, a former player, 1,100 games in the NHL. Thoughts from what Steve said, and kind of what how you could defend better in the game today, because it does seem like the average goals per game is 6.5. That's high right now. But thoughts on what Stevie said there.
Yeah, I think Torch said the best the other day. It's a young, dumb league. It's just like there's no puck management. There's no people are taking risks when there's unnecessary risks. When it was 2-0 game, they're still trying to beat guys at the blue line. They're still not getting the puck deep or just making a safe play or just maybe eating the puck. And there's no value in that right now. There's no kids coming up. You're trying to teach these kids the game and puck management, time management, and just skills they could carry forward that'll help them in junior and when they go up. And there's not a value in that anymore. There's not a value in maybe you see when they're trying to protect a lead, it's 2-0. You got on an empty net. You got coaches sending these guys out that are they're top guys trying to get their cookies for the empty nets.
Yeah,
throw out the plugs, make them block shots, make them hey, this is what you're getting paid big bucks to do. Protect the lead. And I don't know. I just don't think there's value enough in playing deep. Everyone's looking to get on a rush. Everyone's looking to get going, but puck management, time management, just basically game management is the biggest thing lacking. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think knowing when to pinch, when not to pinch. Okay, maybe 2-0, maybe we shouldn't pinch. Let's not pinch here, guys. And sure enough, 2-0-1, score a goal. Then all of a sudden now we're back on our heels. So there's a time and place for everything. I think it's just knowing the game. Hockey IQ. That's probably the best way to describe it. I think I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with that. The hockey IQ needs to be higher. I'm watching the Leaf game tonight before we jump on, and it's 2-1, and San Jose pulls the goaltender with 2:30 left, and Mitch Marner's trying to tie a record for, 18 game point streak. And, he's out there to, like, he ended up getting it, but he's out there for, a minute 30 to try to get that cookie to extend that point streak. And, you got guys out there that you shorten the bench, and you're seeing it a lot where like that fourth line is almost eliminated at times towards the end of a game because you're running your top three. But then when you look in the Stanley Cup Finals, like we looked this past Cup Finals, like there was no passengers between the Avalanche and the Lightning series. Like every single player on those teams were going through a wall, and we're doing everything they can to get through that wall. And then you seen a little bit more structure there, but it is, I don't know, like the 6.5. I know goals is fun, and there are also a lot of goals getting taken away with goalie interferences and whatnot. And it looks like the Oilers lost another one challenge tonight again. But is there anything, that you've seen so far this year that kind of intrigues you to see where the game's changed from, when you played?
Um, yeah, I don't. I'd much rather go watch a Golden Bear hockey game live than watch an NHL game. There's no like, I don't know. It just seems like it's very stick checking. There's nobody finishing their checks. There's no one like I don't know. It's
There's no
just
hit league now, right?
this is a it's just not like I used to get in fights just cause,
Yeah.
not just cause like just because you're pissed off at someone. Not now
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, you used to go to front of net, and now you can just kind of have a cup of tea when you're sitting in front of net. It seems like now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just the game's changed a lot. I know the speed. I mean, it's never been better to get speed and all that stuff. But like, you see guys circling around, like even the owners stopping on pucks. Like they lose a puck, big circles, like big circles. You're not, and
Yeah.
you may win a few games that way, but you're not going to win championships. You're not going to win that way.
There's a clip when we first brought you on. I've kind of always bring it in when we do an intro for you, and it was Pierre McGuire talking when George McPhee brought you in and kind of changing the complexion of the Capitals team because you like, I think you ran like Tim Thomas or someone like that, or you just like you wanted to change the complexion of the game. And I don't know if it was actually running a goaltender, but you got into a little skirmish and you brought everyone into the fight. And I don't think
Yeah,
that
he did it on
happens.
purpose.
Well, maybe he did. I don't know. I don't want to throw the guy under the bus, but maybe
Yeah.
did. But no, I just think like there's not enough. Like I like to play that way. Like hey, I play like ball hockey is my highest level right now. But like if the game is flat or you need to get something going, then that's the way I do it. Like I look at what happened with the Rangers. Like I never in a million years, like you had Turk. I didn't think that the Rangers were gonna like get that way. Like I'm not trying to, like Draisaitl threw the stick off, Drake and Trouba and just was ever. And I'm just surprised Trouba never did anything back. Like, they just traded Ryan Reeves. I just never thought a team like that would get into that element, especially a Gerard Gallant kind of team too. So,
well, case in point, when Jamie Benn was like against the Hyman there,
yeah,
like someone go kick Ben's ass. Like I don't know, he doesn't mean to be Hyman, but like back in the day, like even that Michigan move, if someone tried it on our team, it would be lights out. You'd be like the lights would be out of Michigan if he did that. But like, but it's just like if like that was complete bullshit. Like someone like stick up for yourself, stick up, like go like, or someone grab them and beat the snot of them. Not that I was like extremely tough, but like you got to be willing to like set a tone and show up. Like just show up. Yeah. Like fighting's not about fighting. Fighting's just showing up and being there and for your buddy and being. You might get your ass kicked, but at least you showed up.
Yeah. Were you surprised when we saw Alex Edler with the knee on knee with Connor? That obviously Nurse went right to him and fought him, but are you surprised the rest of the game there was nothing else done to Edler at all? Like I don't know if maybe he didn't need to fight again, but at least get in his face. Like nobody. It was almost like that happened. The fight happened and it was done, and it was like we almost like that game ended and there's a new game being played and we just forgot about that. Or it was very concerning to me, but especially a star player, the best player in the league. How were you concerned at that? Because like that's obviously the theme what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
It's
well, I think Taka was saying to somebody, like I think him and Biss were talking somewhere. I just kind of seen a quote on it, like go after one of their better guys.
Yes.
grab, like take a penalty, beat the snot out of him. Like grab it, like tell Shore, hey, take the 10 here. You're beat the snot out of this guy. We'll kill it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Grab him. Like I don't know, like then like send a message. Hey, you're gonna do that. We're gonna mess with your big guy too. So, and I mean, obviously, the game's changed that way,
Yeah.
and there's not much of that in there. But I kind of want to see a kick at old school once in a while here. Like let's get right. Get back to the hatred. Like there's no like guys would tap each other on the ass and in games and like let's get some hatred. Like
Man, I want somebody. Yeah, like I want somebody to take a 2 and a 10 or a
yes,
5 and a 10, and I want to be on the PK, and I want to kill that for my team, and I want to stick up for that guy that did that for us.
Yeah.
That's
yes,
gone.
And
Like
I
yes.
you get benched for that now. You get benched. Oh, you ran that guy after? No, you're not playing the rest of the game.
But like you said, Robert, like those are the penalties you want to kill for a buddy.
100%.
If someone sticks up your teammates, you like the whole bench says to each other, "Hey, we're killing this fucking penalty guys." Like that's fucking team shit. Like you don't like you're killing, and those are the ones you kill because you're blocking shots for the guy. You're the goalie's on extra high alert. He wants to stop it for him, and like like you said, I wish I would kind of get back to that a little more. Like it's not.
I think the only team that's really doing it are two teams, and we saw it the other night was your former team in the Islanders and the Flyers. Like they kind of had a little bit of a good old school kind of hockey game the other night, and kind of got out of hand. But like Ross Colton had a good fight with Nick Delorier, and I think it was Zach McEwen had a good fight with Matt Martin.
What's the common theme with those teams?
Well, I look at that.
They're
like,
winning.
Well,
right? They win those games.
Yeah. Well, they do. Like obviously the Flyers just snapped their 10-game losing streak the other night, but they came out starting. Like
okay. Okay.
I just like Ryan Whitney you like Biz. Okay. It was funny. Biz was on
whatever. Okay, move on.
No, but like the Islanders like having a really good year. They got a good coach, but Lou's still kind of, he's the GM and old school in a way. And Lou's always kind of had that kind of player, those kind of players on his team, right? So I think there's an importance to it for sure. And I know there's not a lot of fighting in the playoffs, but there's intimidation happens in the playoffs. And
for sure.
That changes the complexion of the game a lot. And I think that is what might be lacking in the Oilers, because yes, Evander Kane hasn't fought since 2020, but the intimidation of Evander Kane is huge. And I don't think the Oilers have anyone on their lineup that intimidates you really well, like in that aspect with him gone. And I know Stoff is like preaching and hard, and he's pushing and doing his thing as Bob Stauffer does to try to get some truculence, as Brian Burke likes to say, into the lineup for the Oilers. But like I know Nurse is in that situation, but he's your guy that's eating 24 to 25 minutes a night. You can't have him fighting every second night or every third night. But I think that's it. We went an hour long. I don't know. I think Rupper's going to start going crazy here if we get into the next hour here. So,
well, you don't need to fight people. You don't need to be tough. You just need to freaking play like hard hockey. Yeah. Like I remember coaches telling me, freaking send a message, go freaking hit everybody at first shift and say like we're here. Like I'm like, fuck, okay, I'll do that. Like fucking right, why not?
And look how
I mean, I don't know. Like we got to get back. Like I know I'm saying we, but they got to get back to that somehow. Like I love old school hockey and kind of I miss that old kind of I mean, I don't know.
When I watched you, like when you would get in your shifts, it would be, from early on in your career to even towards the end of your career. Like
Bosky, I didn't get many, so I had to make them count. So
I know. But it was awesome though. Like in Washington, like Rock the Red, getting that barn going, like how loud that place would be in Washington. Like
it was no better feeling like when you're forechecking someone and you're going crazy and you hit someone and the crowd goes crazy, puck goes over there, you hit that guy, get the puck back and go to score a goal. There's nothing better than that. Like there's nothing better than running through someone through the glass on a forecheck.
Yeah.
Jay, I don't know if we've talked about sorry, I know Bosco, we're running out. How hard is that roll? I think we have talked about it, but just going out there, you were a good skater and all that stuff, but like going out there and just banging a body, how much energy that takes
Yeah, I
to
think.
do that.
Well, day in day out, it's hard. But I mean,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, you're playing hockey. I mean, like I, it's not hard.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's a hard way to play, but I mean,
That's what I mean.
for,
Like,
for me,
is
that's like
yeah,
that's the only way to play. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you know
like
what?
have a
like,
beer
How
at
much
the end of the game.
energy? How much energy does it take to like you're mentally, physically drained at the end of a shift? I guess is what I was trying to say. Like, that's a hard way to play, man.
Mhm.
Well, that's the only way to play.
Yeah,
Like for me, that's the like I don't know. I don't know any other way.
Yeah.
I tell my Pee Wee kids I'm coaching. I do that. I don't, guys. I don't know any other way. This is the only way I play hockey. Like we gotta freaking go here. Like
Yeah.
like compete. Like so that
Oh,
I mean
God.
but what Jay's saying is what I think is missing from the game today.
Oh yeah,
It's
100%.
it's somebody, and I don't know Devin Shore. I don't watch his game, but you know, if Devin Shore wants to get in the lineup, then he's got to do
Yeah.
what it takes to get in the lineup. And if that's getting pucks deep and banging bodies, then for fuck's sakes,
Do
go
it.
get pucks deep and bang bodies. Like in the last,
Yeah.
listen, this is true. In the last 10 years, I've had like 3 people that I've known go into the NHL for their first games, and I watched their first games. And I'm sitting there watching these games with my wife, and I'm like, they're not making it. I'm sorry. They got
Yeah.
called up and they're not willing to do what it takes to send a message to the coach to say, never send me back down again.
yes.
Never, because
Yeah.
you're not getting called up to take fucking Jonathan Taves' spot or Patrick Kane's spot. You're getting called up because somebody on the third or fourth line's injured, or maybe it's your top guy, but they moved them up in the lineup. So if you're not willing to say, okay, I do not ever want to get sent down again.
Fucking make an impact.
Yes.
Exactly. It's
like
going to be like
fucking
that
make
the rest of your
yeah.
career.
But does
Like,
the
fuck-
league allow them to make an impact?
They will.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Absolutely. In
Oh,
the right
yeah.
way, they will. Like, George Peros will still.
If you're always getting penalties and this, that, the other thing, aren't yeah?
I don't.
Are
You
you-
could,
aren't
run, you could run around like without getting penalties. You could freaking
Yeah, I
like
guess.
just make an impact, like chirp somebody, like
Look
get,
at Cal
get in,
But if
get,
I'm a
get
50
in
goal
somebody's
scorer,
face.
yeah, I get it.
Clutterbuck's probably a big example. He just set the record for the most hits too.
Like represent, like there's no like when someone gets called up, you expect like fuck. I actually thought Hamlin played pretty good the first game. He played with some energy.
Yeah,
he
he
played
did.
with some.
Yeah.
I thought he had a good first game when I don't watch a game. I don't know if he's playing today, but I mean, for me, like he had an impact. Like he had an impact in the game. He was playing hard, made a couple of good passes, skating. Like seemed like every shift he was going. So, but like have an impact. Like some guys play their first game and just like you're like representatives is like it's like crickets.
Yeah.
You're like, well,
What did
make an impact.
John Belcourt, you say you got eggs in your
John
pocket?
Belcourt, yeah,
Yeah, you say you got eggs in your pocket.
he did say that.
You can play a full game with a flat of eggs in your pocket, and none of them would break.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. No, I think it's a
All
good
right.
conversation for sure.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming back on with us, Jay. It's always awesome when we can get you on, and it definitely means a lot to us. And continued success, and thank you for supporting us over here too. So.
Oh yeah, anytime. This is awesome, guys. This is Edmontonians supposed to warn Edmontonians, Millwood boys.
You bet.
Yeah,
They're
that's awesome. Thanks for having.
Yeah.
I think Rupper's gone. Rupper's going to bed.
Yeah.
Look at that duster! Holy,
I know.
I didn't even notice
I wanted to
that.
shave it tonight, but fuck, I'm gonna have to shave it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got no time. I gotta hit the wrapper. I'm exhausted.
okay, boys.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
See you guys.
All right.
All right.
Have a good
Take
one.
care.
Yeah.
Later.
Later.